Welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about is basically anabolic steroids and the uses of that drug with a lot of the old time bodybuilders. It took me a long time to figure out that all of the top bodybuilders that I were um, intrigued by when I was younger, all of them were using steroids. From Arnold Schwarzenegger to Lou Ferrigno, Frank Zane, all of these individuals were all using drugs, and none of them were natural. So you can just guess that if they were not natural, the ones that was trailing them 9 times out of 10 were not natural too. And don't get me wrong; I still look up to these people because these are the forefathers of weightlifting and stuff like that. I've recently started watching CT Fletcher, and there was allegations on whether or not he taking steroids or not. Also um, the young guy that used to run with him that got in trouble down in Florida. I can't think of his name right now. I watch him every now and then, but I'm pretty sure that he's on steroids. Uh, I'm pretty sure he's on steroids. I can't think of his Mike Rashid. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's using pretty heavy. But and I've also heard CT Fletcher talk about this huge guy, the biggest guy that he ever seen, Craig Munson and Tuka Williams. He mentioned these guys on one of his videos. Well, these two guys on his videos, and everybody know about Tuka Williams. He was the gang leader and stuff like that. But Craig Munson was older than Tuka Williams. He was ahead of Tuka, and he was the guy that CT Fletcher said that he was the biggest guy that he had ever seen, and so that got me interested in looking up this guy. So I looked up the guy, and I found a few videos on him. And I also found out that Craig Munson, once he got out of prison, he was on steroids. Before he went to prison, he was about 230 pounds. After he got out of prison and got on steroids, he was, around 300 pounds and competing in bodybuilding at 272 even back then. That lets you know how big this guy was. But he talked about the amount of steroids that he was taking. And you have to look at it like this. Birds of a feather flock together. Craig Munson, then you had Tuka Williams going to Craig Munson's house as a young boy, lifting weights. So, when it comes down to this type of thing, if you get a group of guys that's already taking steroids, you pretty much know it's going to trickle down to the guys behind them. So, I would naturally say that at some point Tuka Wilson probably was using drugs too. Well, we know he was on drugs as far as drugs are concerned, heavy drugs, and a lot of bodybuilders of the past, a lot of them also use cocaine and stuff like that too. So you got to do your history on this type of stuff just to get a gist of what you're opening yourself up to just using steroids. So a lot of other drugs sneak in there with it. And you're looking at Craig Munson, huge guy. Tuka Williams, even in prison, he's a big guy. But even in prison, you can still get certain drugs in there. Even in those days. So that was one thing I wanted to talk to you all about, is that research some of the guys that you are following and looking up to. If you're gonna follow them, at least don't follow them blind. Thinking that this person right here is natural, that person right here is natural, when there are very few natural people out there lifting weights, that are, in the limelight. You're looking at fitness models. There are a lot of them are, I'm not going to say all because I don't know all, but I can say a lot of them are using some type of enhancement. Even if I don't believe in a lot of these protein shakes and different vitamins and stuff like that, because you have a lot of things that are in those things that we really don't know what they are, that are considered legal now, may not be legal later. They've had, protein shakes in the past designed like that, where some of the ingredients that are inside those shakes end up being not legal later on. So natural to me is natural. You go to the table, you sit down and you eat at the table, food. That's natural. It don't take 7 or 8 meals a day to get size on you. It don't take all that to get big. If you eat 3 square meals a day, get good rest, work out on a regular basis, it's impossible for you not to grow. You're gonna grow with just that. And the thing about it is, you're gonna be a whole lot healthier than these guys that are out there sticking needles in their behind and swallowing pills. So that's what I want to talk to y'all about. Know who you follow. Know what they're doing. And if you want to follow them, follow them. Because a lot of them I look at, from time to time, because I just enjoy whatever it is that they're doing. But I know what they're doing. And I don't set my workouts around the way they work out, because they are using A, B, C, and D type of drugs. And you can't keep up with that kind of stuff, because their bodies recuperate a whole lot faster than a normal body. A normal body is not that hard to break down, but it's easy to overwork it. They'll tell you, now CT Flex is an advocate of, you can't overtrain, which you can. And I still watch the guy, but I know that what he's saying about not overtraining, that's ridiculous, because you can overtrain, and you can overtrain badly to where you would hardly be able to recuperate within a month, and you would be off lifting weights for a month. So you can overtrain, because I have done it before, overtrain. So know who you're following, know their content, and if you just like this particular person or that person and how they handle themselves, that's fine. Then you watch them. But don't set your workouts up around the way they work out, because you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to last long. And then it'll take all the enjoyment of exercising out of you. And that's one thing that bothers me the most. I don't want to see anybody lose that drive to exercise once they get to the point that's what they want to do. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and again, I'll be talking to you later.